All right. I'd like to call to order the Tuesday, July 7th, Board of Public Works and Utilities. We'll start with the roll call. I know Mayor Kim Smith is on her way and we'll announce when she gets in and then she'll assume the chair role. Alder Steve Knott is myself. I'm present. Jim Benash.
Here.
And then Larry Jurassic, I do not see. Jared Holter.
Here.
Sabrina Steger.
Here.
Okay, we do have a forum. So we'll move on now to item number 2, which is consideration and action on minutes from the previous meeting.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the minutes from the previous meeting by Sabrina Steger, seconded by Jim Benash. All those, is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that passes. Mayor Smith is here and I will relinquish the chair.
Oh, thank you. That brings us to item 3, public input. There's anyone from the public that would like to, that is where we are, right?
Yep.
There's anyone from the public that would like to address the committee. Now is the time to do so. Please begin by stating your name and your address and limiting your comments to 3 minutes. Is there anyone from the public that would like to address the Public Works this evening? Second call for public input. Third call for public input. Public input is now closed. We will move on for consideration and possible action on the following items. Item 4, 2025 Consumer Confidence Report for the City Water Works. Jared.
Thank you. In your packet tonight is the 2025 Onalaska Waterworks Consumer Confidence Report. This is a mandated activity that we have to send out every year to our customers. We did send it with the utility bill that was just received by our customers on July 4th, and it is also on the city website. Just a note, we did meet all current health standards as outlined in the Consumer Confidence Report that you see in front of you tonight. The first couple pages are just a lot of information about our drinking water, our sources of drinking water. The next 2 pages are a variety of sampling that the department does. A couple things I'll point out. Copper and lead is only done every 3 years. So 2023 is our last test date. We are currently testing for copper and lead again. So those numbers will be updated. That is in the middle of page 4 on your packet tonight. And then also on page 5 is the PFAS additional sampling. That was required as part of the unregulated contaminants 5. Most of the sampling was done in 2025, but we did have some 2023 samples also. We continue to sample for PFAS. As you know, we are going through a PFAS removal design at well number 9. We are not exceeding the current limit, but the limit that is proposed to be enacted, we would be exceeding. So that's just an overview of the report, and that was handed out to the public, and I would request to be placed on file.
I move to place on file.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Stephen Knott. It's been seconded by Sabrina Steger to accept the file and report and place it on file. Is there any further discussion on this item? Stephen?
Just a comment that basically reinforcing what Jared's already said, that on that very last page, top paragraph, the key portion here on this report is there are no violations or detections of contaminants that exceed health advisory levels, public health groundwater standards, secondary maximum contamination levels. So bottom line is it's an excellent report.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, thank you for that. Let the record show that Larry Jurassic has joined the meeting. The time is 4:05. Any other discussion on the report? Not seeing or hearing any. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. The report has been accepted. Item 5, professional design services for the fire department dispatch office remodel project.
I'll just start it out. We did budget for the fire department dispatch room remodel project. Kevin's been working on this with the fire department and has come up with some design services are needed as part of this. I'm going to let Kevin go through it. We also have Jeremy Southworth on the meeting tonight via Teams, Zoom, so he would be available for also to give comments.
Okay,
Thank you, Jared. Yeah, so tonight in your packet, we are bringing forward some design services from SEH to assist with the planned fire department dispatch office remodel. This project was originally scoped last year by the fire department and included in our 2026 capital improvements project. I believe we had an original budget of $60,000 for the project. Over the last 6 to 8 months, I have helped former Chief Fleddy, current Chief Southworth, developing this project. This was something we were going to bid out internally, right, for the project. The scope of the project is the existing fire department dispatch office is original from the construction of City Hall. That office actually has countertop space, right, for each of the fire department officers to use, right? So that countertop has 26 years of wear. So the idea that the fire department came up with was to do a remodel, right? New flooring, painting, updating some of the electronic infrastructure, IT infrastructure, and also removing that counter space for some more individual workstations type for the dispatch office. The other part that was included was the current lieutenant's office, right? The fire department is seeking that office, right, as part of the remodel, would be able to allow sleeping quarters in there for potentially if the point that fire station ever was staffed at a higher level, right? Potentially that the lieutenant would have their own space, right, for sleeping quarters, and we could add another fire department on a firefighter on shift. In doing some research when we were developing the design of the project, changing the occupancy of that, what is currently an office space for the lieutenant, into sleeping quarters, right, would require some extra work, some fire protection, right, some rated walls, ceiling, right, to contain that space was originally the occupancy was for the current office, right, and the fire department is looking at that. So when we get into something where we change occupancy, it gets out of my scope as an engineer, becomes more of an architectural review for state review. So we did reach out to SEH to assist with some of those changes, right, of the change of occupancy and some of the permitting for the project. And creating with the services we have and creating sort of a new budget based off the fire department's original budget that was included in the CIP. And once I got involved, there was some things we didn't have enough office furniture dollars allocated, and also just the change of occupancy to that room added some cost to the project. So that's what you see here bringing before tonight is some assistance to help me, right, make sure if we're changing the occupancy requirement of the lieutenant's office to an office/sleeping quarters, that is something we need assistance with for permitting for me to bid the project internally.
okay. I guess my first question is maybe for Jared. When we approve this in the capital improvement budget, that is outside of the scope of what was approved, isn't it?
No, well, the capital budget, the estimate they had was to change it to the sleeping quarters. I guess Jeremy could answer it further,
Yeah,
but it was part of it, but they received an estimate from a contractor to do the work without any scoping of the project beforehand as far as what would have to be changed as part of it. So it turned into more of a project than what was originally anticipated. I think the contractor gave them the right number to do the work, but more work needs to be done now because of the occupancy change. And we need assistance in the design because we don't do that every day. And we want to make sure we're meeting the code requirements and the changes are outlined with proper specifications and drawings.
Sure. Jeremy, do you want to say something?
Yep. So right out spot on, Jared and Kevin for their help. When this project was originally proposed, we did bring in an outside contractor, commercial contractor, to give us a square footage price. And I don't know that we anticipated the necessary changes that were going to take effect by changing the occupancy type of that lieutenant's office. We had originally anticipated, Kevin kind of doing as the general contractor, But it's as the project, we got deeper into it, we realized that it was outside of the scope of practice for internally, for city staff to be operating. I think, looking at floor plans, it just went deeper, I think. Kevin raised a lot of good points that we maybe didn't consider. The fire department, Chief Letty and I, not having, bid out, neither one of us, a project of this magnitude, I guess, in the past. And so we unfortunately missed some things and basically went off a price for square footage only.
Thank you. I know the space definitely needs an upgrade for sure. Okay, Sabrina?
I guess my only question is, are we coming forward for 2027 with an additional budget request? Because my guess is this is going to put the project over budget. And we only bonded for that 60,000.
So currently there's $60,000 budgeted in the 2026 capital improvement budget. This part of it was, I forget, 20 for the design. 18,000. With that, the project budget with the contingency and the design is now at 130,000. So we have put we've reinstated the project into the proposed 2027 capital improvement budget with another $70,000 request. So we would still have, that's including the funding from this year. So the 40 left from this year plus the 70, we'd have enough for the proposed construction.
Sabrina?
So then I guess my follow-up question is, should we wait to approve this until we've approved the CIP budget for 2027? Or by us approving this, we're essentially approving this project. So I think just making sure we understand that.
I think I would agree with the finance director's point. You could approve the project, and if you don't bond for it this year, you're kind of committing to doing it at some time, which I think I think it's probably, the space is 26 years old, so it needs an update. But in a way you are approving, but we have done this from the engineering department. We have plans that we will do on a project and then shelve them if they don't get funded. But, you are in a way committing to the project.
Yeah, and that was the nature of my first question, was like, we already committed in the capital, like the CIP budget was approved, so we committed to doing this project. It's just now costing more than we anticipated. So therefore, we need to reconsider how to move forward. That's why I asked the first question that I asked. Okay, anyone else questions? Jeremy, did you want to say something else?
No other real input other than hopefully this project gets pushed forward, just because I think it's exceptionally detrimental to the future of the organization, because we're kind of stuck at that 7 staffing level where our current facility has 7 dorm rooms. And realistically, in order to ever occupy a second fire station, we'll have to be at that 8. This would be really the only way I think that we can get to that 8 personnel so that we could, staff 2 stations.
Right. Is there a way to break this into 2 phases where we could continue to move forward this year right now and then go ahead? Okay, Jeremy.
Yeah, I think it's really, your first phase is going to be the design. The design's going to take us, because we're already behind what's in the proposal. So the design won't be done until, I'm guessing October at the earliest, probably first of the year. So we would know by then if it got budgeted. If it didn't get budgeted, we wouldn't bid it out. So, and I think trying to break it into like buying them new office furniture or something without doing the whole thing, I don't think the project's large enough to do that, in my opinion.
No. So we could move forward with this.
You could move forward with it, and then if the construction was not funded in the proposed 2027 capital improvement budget, it would have to wait till 28 or 29 or whenever the funding was appropriated.
But we do that all the time for road projects. We
We-
fund the design one year and the actual construction is the next year.
We have done that many times. There's a request for that tonight from the engineering department.
So it would really be no different. Jim Benash?
Just a question about the SEH proposal. Are we already into this for 18,625?
No.
Or
That's the request tonight. The
Okay,
request tonight is to approve the engineering architectural services for the $18,000 to move forward with the design.
and that would be out of the 60 that has already been,
That is correct.
okay.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor by Stephen Knott. It's been seconded by Jim Benash to approve the professional design services for the fire department dispatch office remodel. Gonna make an assumption that was for the amount described in the packet
18,000, yeah.
at 18,625. Okay, open it up for discussion. Larry Jurassic?
Thank you, Chair. What time frame are we looking at for start to completion then? With the delay,
Once if this is approved tonight and then forwarded and approved at the council meeting, we would start the design kickoff, and they have a schedule in there. We're a little bit behind what's in the packet tonight, but I would anticipate we would for sure should have this designed and ready by the end of the year.
do we have the capabilities to handle a new location while this is under construction?
That would be a question for Jeremy. Can you answer that?
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, the question is once it's under construction, what will your plans be to keep operational while construction is happening?
We've already worked out with Kevin and Joe Olinger from IT department is that we'll temporarily move staff out of the office and have temporary workstations until the office is completed.
Okay, Kevin?
Yeah, just a follow up there, Larry, as part of the bidding process, right? We will have some kind of a tight timeline, right? Knowing this is an operation center for the fire department. So we will have a condensed construction schedule. But like Chief Southward said, we've already had some of those initial conversations with the fire department and IT, knowing that, hey, there could potentially be about a 2-week period, right? Where they're going to have to relocate maybe out into a bay, right? Somewhere else within the station, right? To have those duties while the construction is happening.
Thank you,
Okay,
Chair.
Jim Benash?
I just wonder if I can make a request that when they begin to review this project, if they could make a video of the area, and that way they could point out exactly what needs to be done and where and why. It might add some credibility to the need of what's going to be going on in the fire department. So if SEH or somebody put together some kind of video of the areas in question and what it can do. I know some places can actually do it on a laptop and say, okay, here's what the area looks like. This is what we're going to move. We're going to move a wall here. We're going to take this out. Is that even a possibility?
It is, but it's listed as a non-funded service in your contract tonight. They did not have that in there. It's actually listed in there that there's no 3D rendering. It would cost more. We can go around and do a video, but if we want that, I don't think it was listed in here as specifically they called it out that they weren't going to do it.
Okay, Stephen Knott?
Yeah, well, again, I was going to say that's undoubtedly going to have additional cost for that to happen. But the other thing is this was discussed during the capital improvements budget process throughout last fall in detail about why this was necessary. I mean, it wasn't just we would like this project. There was a lot of discussion on this with the elected officials last year. And I believe that was approved unanimously. So.
Yes, and we've been trying to stage up for our firefighters, so we have to support that in a gradual manner somehow. Okay, Sabrina.
So just to be clear, on page 11 in the packet, it says 18,700, but then on page 12, it says 18,625. I just want to make sure we approve the right amount. I presume we want to do the 18,700.
That is what we had the motion.
Yeah, the motion was for 18,625, but page 11 says 18,700. I don't know if you want it for 18,700 since that's what's in the. I mean, it's pennies, but
I would say we get for the 18,625 would be fine. That's listing out the hours. That's the more detailed. I will say on page 11 under additional services, if 3-dimensional renderings are necessary, those services we consider additional services completed upon approval and notification by the city. Fees for those added services would bill a time and expense fee of $1,000. So depending on how much you want to see, it'd be, I mean, when they do it, it's really neat. You can walk right through. We've actually seen it before where they put on the 3D goggles and you actually we walk through the new building before it's built, but that might be a little overkill for what we're trying to do here.
Okay, Kevin.
Just for Alderman Ash, I can email out, we had a small rendering done as part of the office furniture layout when we got some of those quotes, right, for helping in the design process. So I do have an email, right, if somebody would want to see sort of what the envision is, what it would become.
Okay, so the motion we've been discussing is to approve the professional design services as described. All those 18,625. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. It's approved unanimously. Item 6, professional engineering services for general project agreement with Strand Associates Incorporated.
Thank you. In your pack tonight, there is an agreement from Strand Associates. This is for general engineering services. As it states in the staff report, these are for things such as water modeling, traffic analysis, stormwater design. Strand does all of our SCADA and electrical design for our wells, lift stations, everything like that. So as we have a need, we call them up and they do the work. These are on the monthly estimate sheets. When you see them, they range anywhere from $250 to a couple $1,000, but it is really nice to have a on-call if we need a small project done. Right now, those fees would be coming out of the operating budgets for whatever project it would be, whether it's a capital project or a one of the utilities. So it is budgeted.
I move to approve.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor by Stephen Knott. It's been seconded by Larry Jurassic to approve the professional engineer services
20K.
from Strand, estimated 20,000. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Item 7, which I wrote down the wrong thing. Professional engineering services for Third Avenue and East Plaza Park projects.
Thank you. In your pack tonight on page 16 is a memo from myself. We did request quotes for engineering work for the design of Third Avenue and East Plaza Park. Those both were approved under the mortgage revenue bond for construction in 2027. Those will need to be bonded for the general obligation portion of those projects. But we did include in the bonding the engineering work. We still have not filled the staff engineer position, so we do not have enough staff time to move these projects forward. We are anticipating having the Third Avenue South project along with the Poplar Street project, which is part of the Third Avenue project, hopefully done and bid for 2027. With this, you can see we got 3 quotes back. The first 2 quotes from SCH and MSA are unbelievably, it's like they're collaborating on the number of hours and the cost. Obviously they both had understood the project the same when they bid this. So, we did put in the request for quotes. This is really a cost-based, proposal because we did feel all 3 of them could do the work. So basically staff is recommending SCH for $133,600. We did have approximately $140,000 budgeted for engineering in the capital improvement budget.
I move to approve SCH for the engineering services for Third Avenue and East Plaza Park at the sum of $133,600.
I'll second.
Okay, motion was made by Stephen Knott. It was seconded by Sabrina Steger to approve. Any more discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed, say no. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Item 8, State Trunk Highway 16 Multi-Use Path Project Right-of-Way Plot.
In your packet tonight, we do have the right-of-way plat for the State Trunk Highway 16 Path Project. This is moving into the right-of-way acquisition phase. We are still waiting on the TAP award grant or award notification if we will get that. This right-of-way plat has small impacts, relatively small impacts, but we still have to acquire the parcels and the TLEs for the project. It's such small print, I'm going to read them off to you. Quick Trip is the first real estate acquisition. We have a fee of 324 square feet. So that's, 5 foot by 60. So these are pretty small. A TLE of 651 square feet. The Windy Ridge, which is the center section, of 67 square feet of fee, 678 square feet of easement. And the restaurant, which would be the Olive Garden down there, we have a 2 square feet of fee we must acquire. And Kevin, we've tried, we just have to do it. The state's having a project and we need to tie into it. So even though it seems ridiculous to buy 2 square feet, we're going to buy 2 square feet. And we're going to get 434 square feet of TLE. We're looking for approval of this tonight. We will be bringing forward a relocation order either next month or the month after. And then they will start doing the appraisals and things, and we'll bring back whatever the costs are to Board of Public Works to get approved for the actual acquisitions.
So we just need to approve the plot.
We're requesting approval of the plat tonight.
I will move to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor by Stephen Knott. It's been seconded by Larry Jurassic. Is there any further discussion? Stephen Knott?
See any costs on this exceeding what was previously approved in the budget?
No, we actually approved in 2026 monies for this project, and with the TAP application, we're going to use those monies for the right-of-way acquisition. We're hoping to get the TAP grant, so hopefully what we have in the budget will be more than enough to cover our expenses.
Okay, any other discussion? Okay, motion on the floor is to approve. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed, say no. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Item 9, Sand Lake Road, US Highway 53 Regional Pond and Storm Sewer Project Engineering Services, Amendment Number 3.
Thank you. In your pack tonight is a proposed amendment to services for Strand Associates. They are our design engineer for this project. We did approve the wetland delineation. That has been now given to the city. We do have the wetlands identified. The next step would be to what impacts those wetlands have as far as permitting. This is for the Riders Club Road and the north-south street extension that would be off of Riders Club Road. For the project, the placement of the fill, the installation of the storm sewer to get the 100-year storm event drained out of that area. Basically, if you go to page 24, you can see there's wetland 1, wetland 2. They're going to do the first 2 steps. They're going to basically have to see if it's our U.S. Army Corps of Engineers wetland. Then the second one is we're trying to see if we can get a artificial wetland exemption. With that, if it is deemed to be an artificial wetland, which we feel it would be, if it comes through, then we would be done with the wetland work. We wouldn't even need to permit anything. So it's no sense of going through the wetland permitting process until we know if they're going to deem it a true wetland. So with this, it would be $28,000 for this work. It's specialized work. It takes to make the actual permits out. We also would be having this person doing a variety of contacts with the local officials, the Army Corps of Engineers and the Wisconsin DNR to get these permits. So it's a very time-consuming process. That's the reason for the cost. in order to keep the project moving, we really need to have this done because we're going to have impacts to those wetlands either way. With that, the TIF would pay for this work as they have with the rest of the design work that has been done. So we are requesting to move forward with the wetland permitting at $28,000.
Jared, who do you actually pay the money to?
It'd be a sub-consultant of Strand, so
Strand.
we would be, the amendment is through our design contract with Strand, but then they would be actually working with
The Army Corps of Engineers.
yeah, Wetlands Waterways. And they're the ones that actually did the wetland delineation for us.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments regarding this? Otherwise, we can take a
And we
motion.
should have monies in the TID to pay for this work. Should be doing, we're actually got good news in the TID and what the valuation hopefully is going to be. So a lot of work going on out there.
Move to approve the Sand Lake Road, US Highway 53 Regional Pond and Storm Sewer Project Engineering Services Amendment Number 3 to the sum of $28,000.
I'll second.
Thank you. We have a motion by Stephen Knott. It's been seconded by Sabrina Steger to approve. Cost $28,000. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. That brings us to item 10, the pay estimates. Jared, did you want to say anything about them?
No, just your normal pay estimates. We do have, what is it, the
16.
16 that we have in the packet tonight. Yes, the 16 in the packet. No additional ones to bring forward.
Move to approve the pay estimates, total of 16 items as presented in our packet.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor by Stephen Knott. It's been seconded by Larry Jurassic to approve the 16 pay estimate items included in our packet. Is there any discussion on these items? Not seeing any. All those in favor of approving these, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. These are approved. Moving on to utilities, item 11 is update on the Public Service Commission conventional water rate case submittal. Sabrina, are you going to cover that one?
I will. Thank you, Chair. So a couple things that we, in 2025, it was approved for us to move forward with a simplified rate case. And we did move forward with that. But we were also adding that public fire protection charge. And the PSC said you couldn't have two applications in at the same time. So we withdrew our simplified rate case to add the public fire protection charge. That has now been completed and implemented. It went into effect for the second quarter bill. So that is implemented. Part of the PFAS grant for the clean water loan. That's what it's called, correct? Clean water, safe drinking water loan, not clean water loan. Safe drinking water loan. Part of that grant process, we have to evaluate our water rates. And if we fall below a certain level, then we need to do a full rate case study. The last time this was done was in 2020. It is required once you drop below a certain level. We've been doing the simplified rate cases in my time here just to kind of soften the increase when you do a full water rate case study. As of right now, we've been working with the auditors for the city of Onalaska, as well as the individuals who are helping us with the grant. And right now, we are kind of holding on the conventional water rate case submittal until we learn more about if we qualify or how much we're going to get for the grant. Once we know that, then we can move forward with a water rate case, which will likely be later in 2026 or early 2027. So just wanted to give everyone a heads up on that. We have talked with our auditors who are willing to assist us with that full water rate case.
Okay, so you don't think we'll be able to do the simplified?
We will not be able to do the simplified. I did try to reapply. I'm sorry, I missed that. I did try to reapply for that in April. And based on, we had a good year at the end of 2025, based on where we ended, we didn't qualify for the simplified rate case anymore. So right now, we're actually sitting really well based on the PSC standards, the way they evaluate our financial statements. So right now, we're sitting in a good position.
Oh, so
And we
no.
will see where we're at, figuring out how much loan forgiveness we're going to receive for the PFAS. And then that will let us know if we need to do a full water rate case.
Okay. Well,
I don't know if Jared wants to add any
Joanne?
more.
Yeah, just for the safe drinking water loan, we've got enough debt coverage for the loan through our safe drinking water loan. So according to what was submitted and the numbers we've been given and the various consultants that are helping us, we would not need it for the loan necessarily. So we will be monitoring that. And some of that depends, as Rena said, on when we bring the project forward, once we get the safe drinking water approved loan list and see where we score compared to projects that were actually submitted. We put our intent to apply and they compiled all the projects, but not all projects actually finish out and go through the loan process. So depending on what happens with that, that'll vary on how much loan forgiveness or grant we get toward the project. So depending on that, then we'll reevaluate where we're at that time and what we would need to have, and then use those numbers. Because if we apply now with a really high number, assuming no grant forgiveness or loan forgiveness, and we do get the loan forgiveness, our rates will be not right. And if we apply, assuming we're going to get all the loan forgiveness and we don't get it, the rates will be too low. So we're really in a holding pattern, basically, is what we're in for a few months here. But we'll continue to bring forward to the board and let you know where we're at. And obviously, if we need to apply, we'll bring it forward and what we're going to apply for. So.
Okay. Anybody have any other questions? Well, thank you for that information. We appreciate
adjourn.
that. All right.
Second.
A motion by Stephen Knott. It's been seconded by Jared Holter to adjourn. Is everyone in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we are adjourned. The time is 4:39. Thank you.